Hi, this is Adam Kunzmiller with Board Game Geek, and I'm joined by Todd Rowland with AEG, and we're here to look at War Chest.
Yes, War Chest. This was our big release of the show. War Chest is a bag-building tactical war game, although I use the term war game lightly because it has connotations, right? But it's really kind of an abstract. It comes in this really cool box, and both players will have these bags that they use for their armies. So it is either a one-on-one or a two-on-two game where you play in teams of two. The point of the game is to control these control points on the board. So at the beginning of the game, each player is going to already control two of them based on the symbols on the board. Okay. So those will be there, and the wolf player will have two there. The darker area is only used in a team game. So in a one-on-one, you just use this slightly more compressed area. In a one-on-one game, you should have normally 4 additional control markers. I don't know if they had a few over there, they didn't bring enough, but you would have 4 more, and the goal is to get all of your control markers on the board.
Okay.
When you have them all on the board, you win the game. Of course, there's not enough area for everyone to be able to do that. Now, the way you're going to do that is by using your armies. So at the beginning of the game, there are 16 potential units in the game represented by these cards. You're going to draft 4, so you're always going to have a different army of 4 units. Okay. So for instance, I'm going to move the box for just a moment, that's all right. Let's say that you had the footman, the archer, the cavalry, and the crossbowman. And I had drafted the light cavalry, an ensign, a knight, and a lancer. We would then go to the chips and take the matching stacks. So you would have your footman stack, your archer, cavalry, and crossbowman. And I'll just use yours for the example now. I won't worry about getting out mine. So you'll have each of those stacks. You're going to take your bag, and you're going to take 2 of each of your units and put them in the bag. And then you're going to shake up that bag. You also have a what we call our house coin, which is used for special things that goes in your bag at the beginning as well. You shake it up, and at the beginning of the round, both players draw 3 coins to start the round, which is going to give you 3 actions. We go back and forth taking. So these will be kept hidden from the other player, and on your turn, you'll look at them and you'll decide what you're going to do. So the things you can do without getting into everything in the game, you can take any coin and discard it face down to recruit another one for the future turns. So that way you build up your bag and what units you want to have in the bag. You can take a face-up unit and deploy it on one of your controlled areas. You can also then discard, let's assume that I drew this one, you can discard a matching unit to move a unit on the board one space. That's also how we're going to handle attacking. So let's assume that this was an enemy. If I discard the matching one, I attack them, and they're out of the game. When a coin is removed from the game, it is permanently out of the game. So there's going to be attrition as the game goes on. Ultimately, you want to get your characters onto these spaces, use them to gain control, and take over more.
Makes sense.
What's interesting is that each unit has something unique that it does, or a passive effect that it has, that creates your strategy for the game. So for instance, the cavalry, which is right here, their special ability is to move and attack. So if I have a cavalry here, and my opponent is here, I could discard a cavalry token to both move and then hit that chip, whereas normally those are 2 separate actions. The crossbowman can attack up to 2 spaces away in a straight line. So without even having to move, I can just perform an attack and take that chip out. The footman is unique because the footman is the basic soldier, and whenever I choose to move a footman, I can move all my footmen on the board at once. And they all do different things like that. The last sort of important aspect of the game is what we call bolstering. So let's say that I have a unit on the board. I can bolster it by basically crowning it. That's now considered to be like 2 hit points, for lack of a better term. So if the cavalry uses its movement to move and attack me, I'll only lose 1 of the chips, but I don't give up that territory right then.
But you would still lose that chip permanently.
I'd still lose that chip permanently, but I would still maintain presence on that area. The game plays in about 20 to 30 minutes. It can sometimes be a little faster, a little slower, depending on the player's knowledge of all the units, but there's only 16. And like I say, you get a different group every time. Team play is really fun because there's several units that refer to friendlies, and when you're in a team, your teammates' units are also considered friendlies, so you can affect them with cards like your Marshal or Ensign that give orders to other units. It's a lot of fun. It's really strategic, and we're just really excited about this. The reception has been fantastic.
It may not show on the video, but these tokens are very tactily pleasant.
Yes,
very nice.
We spent a lot of time trying to make sure those were going to be really good.
So this isn't like an upgraded. This is
the game.
What it comes with.
This is what it comes with.
Awesome.
And we did intentionally go with a punch board for the control markers because we wanted those to be tactile and visually different than the chips on the board, so that you know that those are not chips.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Todd, for talking to us about War Chest.